So we've come out into the bush looking for some pretty easy picking firewood for the fire pit. And there's a maple tree here that has dropped some pretty good sized limbs that ought to suit our purposes very well. So I'm just looking for some short pieces, fairly small, well dried, and this stuff has been dead for a while, so it should do a pretty nice job. So we're going to cut some of this up and load it into our trailer. Weather is coming in on us. Not sure how long we'll be able to keep going at this. Well, there we go. There's not a huge amount of wood there, but all I'm doing is looking to get some wood for our little fire pit barbecue thing, and we may give it a try tomorrow. This wood was from a tree that was cut down a little over, I'd say 2 years ago, but never split, so it's still pretty damp inside. So it may not burn great, but we'll give it a try just for the fun of it tomorrow and see how it goes. Well, today is going to be the first burn in our caged fire pit here. Still being, COVID season, but also being Thanksgiving. We are having 2 friends drop over for Thanksgiving dessert. After dinner sort of thing, and we're going to be sitting outside having some pumpkin pie. So we're going to try to give that a little bit of warmth with getting the fire pit going. Should be interesting. So we're not cooking anything, so I'm going to take the grill out and leave it out. I'm really looking forward to trying it though. Okay, let's put a few pieces of hardwood in on top of that. Well, there we go. That should get us started for a nice fire tonight. So I'm going to leave that sit, and we'll start that up just before dinner time, so that by the time we have our 2 guests show up after dinner, we should have a pretty decent fire going. Well, there we go. It's just getting this fired up for the very first time. We'll see how it goes. Well, this is looking pretty good. It's a good start, and it's just about time to go in and carve the turkey. So that should have a nice coal fire going by the time our company arrives for dessert tonight.
Because Sandra said she wanted to make one, so I dropped by a whole bunch of things one day.
So I'm out here in the shop today. It's a rainy day. You can hear the generator running in the background. So I've taken care of a couple of small jobs. Got to do an oil and filter change on the ATV. Now it's only had a couple hundred kilometers on it since the last change, but I change the oil pretty frequently on them just to make sure. For the price of the oil, it's a pretty easy thing to help ensure a good running, long running engine in it. So we're going to do that today and maybe get to the tractor. That needs an oil change as well. But we'll see how far we get today with this one. So this is not any kind of technical instructions as to how to do these oil changes or anything. I'm not a mechanic in that sense. I just do the stuff at home that I can. And this is one of the easier things to do. So if you want to find the proper instructions for doing these oil changes, refer to your manual. It's the first place to go, and then check out other videos on YouTube. So let's get underneath this thing and get to work on it. So there's the skid plate. Pretty easy to take off. Pretty scraped up too. So there's both plugs out. The oil is pretty much drained. We're going to put the plugs back in and then take the filter out. There we are, one filter. But that's it. Filter's in, plugs are in. Time to fill it up. Check for leaks. It's always good to have a variety of different funnels around. You never know what you're going to run into. And this one's a bit awkward, but not with this funnel. Well, I would say we're in pretty good shape. Got no leaks, we're filled right up. So we'll put the skid plate back on and call this job done. Okay, that's got the ATV done, so the tractor is next. Well, the tractor is actually slightly easier. There's no crash plate to get out of the way, and there's just one plug to take out. So here we go. Well, that's good. Let's get the plug back in. So this is the one tricky part for this, is the filter is in a bit of an awkward spot to get a hold of. But this filter wrench really makes it much easier. According to the manual, I am way early changing this, but as with the ATV, I want to keep good fresh oil in it. Okay, we're all set for the filter. Now I'm going to put a little bit of nice clean oil on the seal here. That way it's not going to get stuck, locked up on there or anything. Don't want to over tighten these things, so I've made contact, given it a little turn. All right, that's it. Filter's on. So this tractor is still under warranty, so it gets everything that the warranty says, and that includes using Kubota oil. And it's 100% synthetic, so that's what I want in it. So we'll just check the air filter and we're done. Well, that looks in pretty good shape, but I'm going to blow it out anyway. Okay, service complete, and put this thing away. So next on the agenda is going to be getting the John Deere lawn tractor ready. That means hooking up the 44-inch snowblower on the front of it. I didn't do an oil change on it before, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do that with it anyway. And I need to get it clear and out of the way, because after that I want to start putting insulation up in the ceiling of the shop. And that's going to be a very tricky job. It used to be you could get fiberglass insulation with a paper back on it that you'd be able to staple in place up against these rafters, but you can't anymore. So I've been kind of experimenting here. So I've got a little bit of leftover insulation. So I have stuck this piece up in place and put a couple of staples in it, and that obviously is not going to work really well. So I've got to come up with a better way to insulate this roof. I looked at using a type of fiber board about 1 inch thick, and they told me it would give me a whopping R value of 4, and I thought, well, that's pretty much a waste of time. Plus it would cost about $1,000 to do this roof. So that obviously is a no-go. So I gotta come up with a way to make the pink stuff work, and I think I have, but that is for the next video. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you out in the trail next time.